Hi everyone. Keith took us to the wrong camera and let me not know. Hey, welcome to Derringers and Desperadoes, our D&D Western game. Do you want me to just do the intro?
Yep.
Sure. If you're interested in seeing more of our content, we have a YouTube channel. Go to Casual Cactus, Casual with a C, Cactus with a K. You'll find us quite easily. We have hundreds of hours worth of content, including D&D campaigns, one-shots, westerns, World of Darkness, and a smattering some other board games. We also have a Discord. You can click on the link below. We use this to let you know when we are streaming, when we are not going to stream, which can happen, and just other posts of things we have done in the past. Is that everything?
That's pretty much everything.
Okay.
That's most of what I covered. So
Okay.
good on you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, and the only other thing I'll say is welcome to Casual Cactus and Derringers and Desperadoes. So take it away.
Last time.
On Dragon Ball Z. No, wait.
Oh.
Don't get me started.
Please don't, because the last time I tried to tell Laura, I almost wanted to leave.
So last time on Derringers and Desperadoes.
Yes. Last time, knowing you had to wait a little while until the next main part of your main quest, you guys decided to track down some people who had been stealing gold from the local gold rush that had been going on. Deciding to head towards Fool's Gold, you guys started heading that direction. When you came across a lookout position, you quickly took them out, and then the main horde attacked you. You quickly dealt with them as well, and saw that a couple of others had decided to head to what you would assume maybe be like the main camp of bandits. You guys decided to lay an ambush, setting your guys' selves up in some rocks, some trees. You waited and ambushed the rescue / a second wave of these individuals. An epic battle was fought in which you guys came victorious, capturing 3 of the remaining individuals. You talked to them. One, Jack, was sent to lead another, Nicholas, to be taken to the marshal, while you left a sort of a gambler to go deliver a message to the gang's leader, a Miss Estrani. You had sent them all on their way, and I believe we're going to follow the gambler to the camp to make sure that he delivers on his promise. And Pass Without a Trace was up.
Oh, we have to roll for stealth, huh?
Yes, let's roll for stealth, shall we?
Okay, Pass Without a Trace gives us a plus 10.
Yes.
So good. It's going to be incredible. I'll tell you what.
I have to do some math.
That's fine.
33.
33. Okay.
I was one off from the maximum that I could have gotten.
Very nice.
30.
30. Jeez.
That plus 10, man.
Over on this side of the
24.
24.
32 for me.
Holy
32
cow,
for
I'm
me.
sorry.
Is Quienta back?
No.
No.
Okay.
But I forgot.
Sorry, the way your cadence was, I was like,
Well,
I got
I
a
did
32.
roll, and I was about to tell you for Quanta, and then you asked, and I was like, right, Quanta died.
Okay. Silently through the night, you begin to follow the gambler. Are you immediately popping Pass Without a Trace, or are you waiting a while?
Soon as we get going, because it's only, you said it was only 3 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get there in like half an hour-ish, depending.
Oh, we're moving.
Well, traveling with him.
Traveling with me,
yeah,
we are not slowed down by difficult
That's
terrain.
Yes.
right. So we passed the gambler on the way.
Actually, yeah. In fact, you'll
Which is-
get to see the
Which
camp
is fine.
before
I am
them.
less concerned about him, more concerned about getting eyes on their camp before
we camp.
sleep.
Yeah.
You get to a part of the get to a part where there's sort of like what looks like a small like collapse of like a bank that then goes down a little bit to sort of a small valley where you can see that there's a small lake. You can see sort of at like a curve of the lake, there's an encampment. You can see maybe 15 tents, some of various sizes and all of that. Currently the camp looks very quiet. You can see like a couple of what you might assume as patrols are. So kind of set up positions. It's just because it's probably a good idea. That's double 16s, but it's never going to be enough to
see us.
to see you guys. Even if I rolled a natural 20, I don't think they'd be able to see you guys. Because you all have a collective average of like
28, 27.
28, because you bring it down a little bit. So.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Like a 28. 28, maybe a 29. So.
Do we see anywhere that we could head up to get like sort of an elevated view so that we could see it and observe the entire camp from?
Evens or odds?
Odds.
Not that you can see. It's also dark right now.
Sure.
So all you can see is like the campfire and then the glow of the campfire and a couple of tents. So.
Okay. Well.
As you begin to wait, you wait maybe like another 5-10 minutes, and then you see your gambler fellow starting to head into the camp.
I hand you my binoculars.
I have a scope.
I'll take them back.
You just see him head into camp. Are you going to try and observe what goes on in camp?
Are there any trees tall enough that I think I could climb up to the top of them and get a view into the camp?
There's trees everywhere, so yeah.
Yeah, but don't even look tall enough for that. Like that they would give me enough height that I could actually see into camp.
Yeah, there are probably one.
I will try climbing up one of those.
All right, make a athletics.
Can I just? I'm not gonna help, but I'm gonna pretend try and help a little, just
Sure.
But it won't be much help, but I'll pretend like I'm doing something.
That is a 16.
All right, you're able to climb up a tree and get to a height that you were relatively able to see into the camp. You see him enter in. You see a couple of people talking with him, though you guys are probably not close enough to hear any conversations. You hear talking and all that, and people seem to be gathering around this, the gambler. Looking through your scope, you see approaching the gambler. You see this. Best way to describe her here is a very regal-looking woman, sort of wearing sort of a. From what you can tell, you can't tell a lot color-wise from the campfire, but you can see it seems like she's got like a loose shirt, sort of like a long coat with the sleeves cut out to make sort of like a long vest, riding pants, tall boots. She's got a large brimmed hat with this feather off to the side, sort of standing there. Sort of comes up to the gambler, and you can see the gambler hands her the note. She sort of reads it for a moment. There's some more talking. Everyone's... It's like for maybe like the next hour, there's sort of talks and discussions within the group. Also, as you're looking at the group, you can see that there's maybe two big tents, and you can see occasionally people are just looking out of it, just wondering what's going on. Just people doing just general cleanup and whatnot throughout. And you can see a couple of patrols as well. But you think that you're far enough that you're not going to get harassed. After maybe about an hour, you think maybe a conclusion has happened, and you watch sort of the group disperse and sort of look like they're going to bed down for the evening.
Am I able to make note of where in the camp Miss Estranti goes to bed down?
You see like a medium-sized tent, like maybe one that someone could like stand up in. It's maybe like 10 feet by 10 feet, sort of off, sort of in the middle and a little bit out.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of, she goes into that one.
Gotcha. Is there any clear signs of where they might be storing all their loot?
Maybe.
Make an investigation check at disadvantage for range.
And it's nighttime.
And it is nighttime, that's why also disadvantage as well, so the DC will be a little higher.
+1. That's a 14.
A 14, you're really not sure.
Okay.
There are a lot of tents, it could be any of the tents. You see like maybe a chuck wagon. You're not sure where it would be.
Okay. Do they seem like they're... So they made a decision and they're just heading to bed, basically.
Yeah. It seems like a decision has been made, and then what will come of it will come in the morning.
Okay. In that case, I will climb down out of the tree.
Okay. While he's climbing down, I've been setting up camp. I rolled a 5 for my survival to set
Oh
up camp.
dear.
Okay. Like when you say setting up camp.
I'm going to try and set up camp because he's usually the one that really helps to do it. So, I want to help him for once.
Okay.
You're just really bad at it.
As I say, I'm going to get down out of the tree.
Okay.
I'm going to look over. Why are you building a fire?
There's plenty of wood around. It's nice and it might be chilly tonight. You never know.
But we don't want them to know we're here.
I guess it's cold soup.
Yep.
Cold soup.
The message was delivered to Miss Estranti. I made note of what tent she is currently residing in. It looks like they talked it over and made some sort of decision, but they haven't done anything to indicate which direction they might be feeling.
Great.
So, do we feel like we want to rest? Alternatively, how long did I watch them for? You said an hour?
About an hour.
Okay, yeah, never mind. We should probably rest. I was gonna say we could try and sneak into their camp and go confront her now, but Pass Without a Trace is no longer up, and I don't think we'll make it without that, so.
Who is hurting the most? So I can spell my last spells for the day on them.
Well, when we rest, we can spend our hit dice.
Yeah, but I don't, if you don't have to.
It's also fair.
You probably should save those for before the week ends. Because you remember, doing a long rest, so 8 hours works as a short rest for healing, and then a long rest for healing is a week.
Remind
Yeah.
me how the short rest healing works.
So you
Just
can
hit dice?
expend any of your hit dice, but the next time you take a long rest, you only regain half of your total amount of hit dice. So we're level 5, so you have 5 hit dice. If you spend 3 of them now, then the next time we rest for a whole week, you will only get 2 of them back.
Gotcha. So, I mean, yeah, like healing spells are probably a good way to go when you've got the...
Yeah, because we
Well,
get our
we
spells
can,
back.
because I'll get them all back.
So I'm still down about 14 from Topsy's.
Okay, let's see.
But if somebody else is hurting more than that, be my guest. I feel much better after that.
I mean, I'm
first
still
week.
hurting, but not more than you, so.
That was the case.
Yeah, he did me a great deal of favor with that first go round.
Holy crap. 20 healing.
How much?
20 healing.
Well, I'm back to full then.
You start.
I am still down 11.
How many more spell slots you got?
I have 2 more.
Let you take.
That's another 10 healing.
Okay. So I
can use my own spell slots then.
I
That's why I was
am
And I got
only
one
down
more,
one
so-
now. So
You're only
that's-
down one?
I'm only down one.
And I got healed another 8. And that's all my spell slots.
Keith, I will heal you for
At least 1.
9 more hit points.
Cool. And I'm only down
So
3, so I'm good.
now back to full.
And we should definitely have watches tonight.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I would advise sleeping with your guns close and loaded.
I've got that whole like moon thing going on, so I'll just take all of them.
Okay.
Keep eyes on.
I will stay up for the first watch.
I'll
I've
stay.
ever actually done that before.
You have.
Okay.
Okay. Then I suppose we will take our long rest, and sometime during that, at Braden's discretion, Quinta will show back up in some form.
And indeed, at a certain point during the night, Quienta sort of pads her way into camp, looking a little huffed. She didn't expect to be blown up by a gentleman with a bean can grenade. Sort of sits down and just looks perturbed.
That really happened, huh?
I never expect it when that kind of thing happens either. It's fine. I understand.
That's to say, I suspect by the time she shows up, you're the only one awake.
Probably.
So roll your perceptions for your watches.
Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, that's not bad. Good news.
17.
17,
15.
15,
14.
14.
Oh, I'm not taking a watch. I trust them.
Oh, how wrong you may be.
For the most part, your sleep is good, and you see no ill will headed towards you from any of the guards. Seems like everyone's just sort of hanging out at that camp.
Alright.
Just let it stay that way.
The morning is gently rocked a little bit by the sound of a triangle, sort of the calling for breakfast at the camp.
As soon as the sun was coming up,
Yeah.
I wanted to climb back up that tree to keep watch on their camp.
Yeah, if it's the same tree, you're fine to climb it. You know how to climb
We can
it.
do the same tree.
Make a stealth check just so then no one sees a man climbing a tree. Oh.
That's a 9.
A 9, you say?
I rolled a 2.
Damn it.
That was a chance.
There goes my chance. That's a 1.
Good.
Seems like as soon as you climb the tree, the dinner bell rings, and so most everyone comes in, even the people who patrolled during the night. It seems like everyone's coming in. The next half hour is just people going to like a chuck wagon that's there, and sort of people getting dished up food and whatnot. Afterwards, while everyone's eating, you see Mrs. Strani, who during the light you can see is wearing like a red flowed shirt, sort of a black vest, long vest sort of thing. You can also see that she is crossed. Across, she's wearing 2 bandoliers. Each one has a pistol in the side.
Do they look like normal pistols?
Make a perception check with advantage, seeing as you're using the scope. I would assume.
Yep. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. The barrel's slightly longer, but for the most part, they look like regular pistols.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep watching and see how they respond to things.
You watch Mrs. Strani just starts talking. though you can't hear what she's saying. She sort of,
We get addressing the whole group.
it was sort of everyone's kind of sort of sitting around eating, but also looking to see what this Mrs. Strani is saying.
Probably telling them about our letter.
For about 15 minutes, she talks to the group. You see a couple like hands raised and questions being asked and whatnot. She seems to be very energetic in her movements and talking. About 20 minutes after she begins talking, everyone just sort of starts taking their stuff over to where the truck wagon is and starts disassembling the camp.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to continue to keep watch.
What are the people on the ground doing as well?
I'm gonna start helping you guys put everything away. Just as of the night.
Yeah, imagine that
Kinda.
would be.
I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff back down on the ground to make it look like nobody's been there.
Okay.
As much as I can.
As much as one can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I'll help out with the breakdown process and all of that. I probably did some of it through the night while I was watching too, just like making sure that everything was tidied and ready to go.
Okay.
And just wait for his update from what he sees on his tree watch before we figure out what's happening next.
Okay. And you make a perception check. You have advantage because of the things. This is going to be real close.
Because of the things?
Because of something's
Stuff.
going on.
17.
Okay.
I either just made it or just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out.
Yep.
You're watching the camp being set up. You're watching it very specifically.
Setting it up?
Or sorry, taking it down and all
okay.
that sort of stuff.
Us or them?
No, they're
Oh,
Their
their camp.
camp.
Okay, yeah.
Because you barely caught them doing this. Barely. You see stealthily wading out into the lake. You see the gambler and another dude holding they have like what looks like a chest wrapped in a material that they are taking out to the lake. You watch as they get to a specific place. They sort of go underwater with the chest. They come back up. You watch as they sort of like arrange like somehow like a stick to stand straight up from the lake.
clever.
Sort of then wade themselves back out of the lake. And people are still taking things down. About 3 hours of taking stuff down. And then setting them on wagons and horses, the truck wagon being filled up, the two prostitute camps tents being put on wagons as well. The ladies now wearing attire to be out of the tent with as they begin setting up like a wagon line.
Yep. Where do they appear to be heading?
It appears they're heading east. So.
Alright, I will clamber back down the tree
Okay.
when Winterwolf gets down. Well, it appears that they have considered our proposal. They have broke camp, packed up everything. They are currently heading in a wagon train east. They also took out a box of some sort out into the water.
I'm talking like a steamer trunk.
Yeah.
Chest.
And left it in the water and marked its location with a stick.
Huh.
So, one of two things could be happening. It is unlikely, but it could be that they are going to turn themselves in. I doubt that.
I highly
Yeah.
doubt that. It'd be
I think
nice.
they are moving camp to try and throw us off the trail. However, as they are leaving, we would be free to go retrieve said steamer trunk full of whatever. And as long as we don't let them get too much of a head start, I'm not too worried about us being able to track them.
Sound good?
And assuming they stop somewhere towards the evening, we wait for nightfall and wait for them to settle down, and we can go confront Miss Estrante. Preferably quietly in her tent. Yes, quietly.
Oh. Okay.
It does make the most sense.
Which, for all of you, means no guns.
I mean, I don't tend to.
How much
anyway.
noise does that make?
No,
I would stick to knives or other associated things, unless one of you has a bow that I have not noticed.
I had a quiver the other night.
I know you did.
Yeah, I suppose I can cast pretty quietly, but I can also try and charm her or something.
I mean, we can also just potentially. I suspect if we can eliminate her from the equation, that dealing with the rest of the camp will become easier.
Well, I mean, if she's paying their wages, I imagine, certainly.
So, I say we give it another 15 minutes and go see what they left in the lake.
Not it.
I go.
I'll go swimming.
I don't know that I can get down far enough if they had to go under.
Did they go all the way under?
They got to about neck level
Yeah.
before they went under and then came back up.
Anyway,
You can
so
still touch bottom.
and he's gonna kind of look around. Nice job breaking camp. It's better than what I expect from those pilgrims.
I mean, I've been out. You know what?
You watch as the wagon trail starts heading eastward. Seems like you would assume might be heading towards Fool's Gold.
Mm-hmm.
You also see, hopping on two horses, you see the gambler and Mrs. Stronti hop on horses and start heading south.
Ooh, okay. So when you say they're heading east,
Yep.
is the wagon train headed toward the bridge?
You would assume so, yes.
Okay, but they are heading south. How fast are they moving?
Currently, well, they're not like full going for it, but they're going at like a trot. I don't know the horse analogy terms of.
They're still in difficult terrain, though, right?
Right. So they're traveling as fast as they can, where a horse is just going to maneuver through. So.
Okay. Interesting.
What is it?
All right, let's go recover whatever they left.
All right.
Yeah.
So when we get down to the lake, I'll pull off my bandolier and set it to the side and
Yep.
leave the guns off to the side. I will keep my Bowie knife with me just in case I need it.
Of course.
Yep. Guns and bow off to the side.
And
Yeah.
take the shoes off because, water and leather boots. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah.
Are you doing it because you know, or are you watching?
I'm just
JT
watching him
and you're
doing
like,
it, and then just like I'll
Okay,
take my
yeah.
shirt off too, and just like
The shirt comes
Oh.
off and, down to my small clothes.
Yes.
And into the water we go.
I'm just a mirror image at this point. I just do what everybody else is doing.
And so do I see sort of the, I don't know who you are. Do I see the stick that
Yes, you do
Winter
see
Wolf
the
has?
stick poking
Okay.
out. If you just looked at the lake without knowing, you would think that maybe like there was a dead tree in there.
Yeah.
That
But
overstood-
we know.
But
know
you
better.
do know, yeah.
All right, so I'm
in the
gonna go.
deed.
So I'm gonna go right out to the stick
Okay.
and take a deep breath and duck my head under and see what I can see. If I can see
it's very
anything.
murky
Very
currently
murky.
because it's
It's probably still nothing settled.
right. Not much has settled at that point, but you do see that they're sort of feeling around. You do feel like a cloth, like a
Okay.
water like that. You know, like when there's
oilcloth. Yeah.
surrounding like a square object.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure that
Yeah.
Clarence knows where it is, and we'll lift it up and
You lift it up.
head back out.
It is heavy.
Okay.
You start slowly making your way back towards the bank.
I'm keeping watch.
Yeah.
Make sure they didn't leave anybody
Make a
behind.
previous perception check.
19.
And he, looking around, you're pretty sure there's no one around.
Mhm.
So, right, you
I'm gonna slosh out of the water and
slosh
set it
out of the
down.
water. So,
So do we open it here?
Yep.
All right.
Can
So
I investigate it just in case it's kind of trick lock?
sure,
or
make an
something?
investigation.
Check to see if it's got bombs.
Oh, I don't know shit. Yeah,
I'll
that's-
start.
it's
I'll
like a
start
7.
pulling the cloth off of it at least.
Pulling the cloth on it, you see a green lined steamer trunk with little like latches on it.
Make sure to check if it's locked.
Is it locked?
It is.
Oh. I think I've got 1, maybe 2 lockpicks.
I'm just gonna pop out my claws and
Yep.
try and start opening, and trying to do something with the locks.
Okay, make a sleight of hand.
It's a 9.
It's a 9. Whoopee!
Actually,
Oh.
I'm going to.
Oh yeah, I remember. You guys have those.
Yes.
I kind of forget about that sometimes.
I have 2, and I just remembered.
It's a 9.
A 9.
Oh, it's
You
fake.
try and turn, but your claw, the twist is not enough to get to wherever the locking mechanism is. So,
Did it work? I mean, I can give it a try and see what. Okay. I'm gonna give it a try. Give it the old 1, 2. Yep.
35.
It's a 17.
17. All right. You are able to unlock the steamer trunk.
I think you loosened it.
I using claw, you using lockpick. Not really the same.
You never know. Okay, so I'll just flip up the lids and I'll just open it up.
You open it up. You see there's like a blanket over the top.
Guys, we got a new blanket.
Remove it. See what's
All right, I
underneath.
guess it's mine.
You
I'll
can
take
have
the-
it, but what
I'll
is
take the
underneath
blanket.
the blanket?
You take the blanket off, and you see several bags, just different shapes and sizes.
I got the blanket. I don't care.
I will take one bag and just sort of ease it open and look inside.
Gold powder.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put it back in, close the lid.
So
So before you do that, what do you want to do? It's the gold, right? So look in, it's all in sacks.
yeah,
If I pick up one of them, how much does it weigh?
like one sack,
Yeah.
maybe like half a pound.
I will hand one sack to each of us.
Okay.
And now we close it up and we hide it somewhere we know where it is.
Okay.
Okay.
If one of you wants to keep watch real fast just to be safe, I will look around here and see if I find a good spot to move it.
I'll do it. I will keep watch. Whew, natural 20.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Damn.
For a 20.
Yeah.
4 and 20.
Don't seem to be harassed by
There are
anything or anything.
72 invisible gunslingers.
I'm not that harsh.
I'm gonna scout around the area a little bit and try and find a good natural hiding place.
Okay.
I like
Make an
that.
investigation check.
Any chance that could be survival?
Survival?
Yeah. Be able to find a place that people would be unlikely to look. It's okay. if
Yeah,
you can't.
I'll allow a survival check.
Oh, good. I'm much better at survival. Okay, Braden, I have another
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Since I am presumably trying to hide this from other humanoids,
Okay.
does my advantage on survival checks relating to humanoids work for this?
Probably not.
Okay, that's fine.
Might as well.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a natural 20.
Okay.
Woo! 2 more and we win the game.
And that's it, it's over.
So
Yep.
each of you have
Wait,
8
one
ounces of gold each. So
Half a pound to get old.
How much is probably in that trunk?
Well, let's see.
well,
It's pretty heavy.
lifting it up. I'm gonna just quickly do a quick Google
Yeah.
search on a specific thing real quick.
So we have half a pound of gold.
Yes. I was just trying to decide.
So you did 8 ounces. What year is this?
1880.
What was
It's
the value?
It's 20 pounds per ounce. $20 per ounce.
Dang it!
Nice. So
And we
each
got
of-
8 ounces, so
So each of us has $160.
that's still
Worth
not
of
bad.
gold. And this way, even if somebody else stumbles across the gold
What
sash-
is the term when 2 people need to carry something so they don't because it's too heavy for one person?
Team lifting?
Okay.
That's just
I'm
like
just
a
trying to
team
figure out
lift?
what the minimum team lifting weight is by OSHA standards.
What is it? Is it 60?
I think it's 60 pounds.
I think it's 60 pounds because I know 40 pounds is. Then every place I have ever worked has broken OSHA regulation.
Yep.
I know 40 pounds is doable by a single person because I used to do it all the time. And I want to say when you look at the boxes at like Home Depot or Lowe's and you're looking at something that says team lift this, the lowest one I've seen that
Okay.
on is 60 pounds.
Minimum lifting for men is 50, 25 for women.
Is that kilograms or pounds?
Pounds.
Pounds.
50 pounds. Over 50 pounds, you have to have a double. Over
Oh.
35 for if it's 2.
I've never worked in a place that obeyed these
Yeah,
regulations.
No,
Let's
but
say-
that's the OSHA.
Alright, I'm just gonna use
Oh,
a percent.
sorry. At 51 pounds, you have to have somebody.
This is
At 50.5, 50.1, 50 point whatever.
Well, that has to be a different number.
This is the same. I waited. It is 50.959. So we're good to just lift it.
We're good to lift it.
Let's say, because I like the number, let's say it's 42 pounds.
That's good, yeah. Like
So, what's 42? Hold on, I'll do the math.
wait,
real
wait.
quick.
We're
42
doing
pounds.
roughly. Is that including the trunk or just gold?
Oh,
weight?
you're. Let's.
Do you want to say 50 pounds including the trunk?
Yeah,
weight?
let's say 50 pounds including the trunk.
Okay.
But-
Let's say the steamer trunk's 8 pounds.
Sounds good.
Okay, but
So, I don't know if that's the correct weight, but
okay,
we'll stick
so 42 pounds times 16 ounces
with it. Times 20.
Times 20.
times 20.
Jeez.
Like
Okay.
what? $2,000? 13 grand back in the day. Holy cow!
Okay. Lance has a question.
Yeah.
Presumably, this is not refined gold.
It is not
No, no, no.
refined gold.
So does the $20 an ounce still hold?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's a small fortune.
That's
It is,
not
but
a
it's-
small fortune.
But you also have to imagine the amount of people that they've robbed.
No, yeah.
Without getting any.
So does the 42
Does not include the steamer.
doesn't that include what we've already taken out? Because we've taken
Yes.
out
We've taken out 2 pounds.
You're right. That is
So
including
there's
the.
40
So there's
left
40
in it.
left in there.
40 left in it.
So. I might change that. I'm just going to do a quick Google search on what is the most anyone has ever pulled weight-wise of gold.
Yeah.
We're gonna wreck Braden's imaginary economy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's still 12 grand, almost 13 grand.
It's okay. Keith completely changed the political ecosystem with my other game.
He has a tendency to do that.
Provided mouse people mech suits.
My artificer built little teeny tiny mech suits for mouse people.
Poor.
So later,
I only built 5 of them, but I did also give them the blueprint.
So later, when the Mouse Empire has conquered,
Yeah.
He created mouse Gundams.
just imagining, what's that? It's a flock of Mouse Gundams.
More like mouse Voltrons. Okay.
Still.
The cat people won't know what hit them.
Nope.
No.
Okay. So, nice. Yeah. $12,800. Nice.
Nice.
Assuming you get it somewhere where you can
Assuming
sell it all.
You get it
Yeah.
somewhere where you can sell it. Exactly.
Yeah, that somebody doesn't get to look at you and go,
Mm.
yeah.
Or, even if we manage to get it all into fool's gold, and they're like, yeah, we don't have enough money to buy all this from you.
Yeah.
Like-
No, this is one of those things that will be trickling out
Down
a
the
little bit
road.
of time
As needed.
as needed.
Makes sense. Still hunting down, Brad?
Okay.
Too much? Too little?
short.
Miners extracted more than 750,000 pounds of gold during the California Gold
Yeah,
Rush.
we're good.
You're good.
fine.
Good.
You're good. So, okay, I don't feel as bad as giving you that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
$750,000. You're like,
Okay.
No, pounds.
Pounds.
Oh, but yeah, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Not that I wanted to lower it. I was just like,
No,
more of
that's
interesting
totally fair
facts
to be
because
like,
it's just
what
like,
is this?
This seems a bit excessive. It's a bit excessive. It seems a bit excessive.
They have been a very successful gang of bandits.
Yeah.
Too bad for them they can't hold on to it.
Indeed.
there'd be a lot of gold in them.
Well, that's
there
the thing is,
hills.
like, who knows how much they still have? Maybe that was just access they had. They wanted to just hide for later.
Maybe. I'm going to spend a minute meditating
Okay.
to sense within 5 miles.
All right.
I want to see where that wagon train's going. I also want to see where those 2 riders are headed.
Yeah. Wagon train's still heading east. The riders are still heading south.
With how fast they're moving through difficult terrain,
Yeah.
how long do I think it would take for us to overtake them?
On horses?
On horses, well, not fast.
Well, they're on horses, but also horses are fast over short distances. They can't outpace you over the long.
Especially over rough terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 6 hours?
It would take us 6 hours.
It would take you 6 hours just to try and, well... Yeah, about, well, so you've been here for a half hour.
Mhm.
So they've had a half hour on you.
And keep in mind, we are not slowed by the difficult terrain.
Okay, then I'll say it would take about 3 hours to get ahead of them.
Okay. Does that still let us get to them before the road?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, if you want, you can get to the road and then using your boop 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 senses, you could ambush them when they get to the road.
I'd like to do that, actually.
Okay.
So I'm a...
Assuming that's where they're going.
So, I did spy...
So are we talking about the riders or the...
The riders.
Okay.
I
then-
spied Miss Estranti and our gambler fellow. We're headed south on horseback.
You find a place for trunk?
Oh yeah, and I'll show you guys wherever my natural 20 found for us to stash
So
the
you
trunk.
actually see, like, there's an alcove where it looks like maybe at one point a badger had tried to build something, but then it collapsed with erosion or whatever, so it's left an indent. And there's a rock that would, like, fit perfectly right on top, right where that is. So you just sort of put the trunk in and
Maneuver it.
just sort of maneuver it, so it's sort of like a small, like, cache.
Nice. Perfect. Our gambler fellow and Miss Estranti are headed south. The rest of the wagon train is headed east. I would propose that we try and get out on the road and get ahead of our 2 riders, assuming they are in fact headed to the road, and meet them when they get there.
Sound
Sounds
good?
like a good idea to me.
All right.
Yeah.
That seems like a much more efficient way to go about many things.
I will periodically keep using my primeval awareness to track their movements to see if they are in fact continuing to head south or if they like change direction or stop or anything.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm just gonna quickly, because I'm just curious about a statistic I just saw.
What was the name of the lake?
The lake is called Pollock.
Oh,
Pond.
jeez.
Pollock.
Just because I was curious about how the maths are. 240 million gold was taken out of the gold rush.
And in money-wise?
Yeah.
So all of the gold, if you got that total, is like close to $240 million.
Is that in today money?
No,
or
that's-
back then.
that's
That's back then money.
Woo!
Yeah,
That's not even
that's not
today
even-
money.
That's not even adjusted for inflation.
No,
Yeah, times that
1
by
ounce
100.
now
Because
nowadays,
now is
1 ounce is $1,300.
is it?
Yeah.
I just saw the
Oh, I
statistic.
thought it was two. Oh, yeah,
No,
that makes sense.
yeah, no, it's pretty expensive.
I thought
So
it was $2,000, but that's
20 inflated to 1,300. I imagine you can figure out the math. We're
Yeah,
looking
it's-
probably in the trillions.
Wow.
Trillions of dollars worth of gold was taken out of the Californian hills during the gold rush. All right, so you guys
You guys
begin.
didn't realize this was an educational channel.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The weird history. Sometimes we do have historical facts in this game,
Most of it's right.
but I only use it to make it so these guys aren't broken.
What was it you told me in one of the other games? If you can find me historical precedents for dynamite being widely available.
Yeah, well, I did say that. Yeah, if you can tell me that any normal Joe could just go to the grocery store and
So-
get 2 sticks.
And
of
as it
dynamite.
turns out, they could.
So it winds up being 6,500% inflation.
Yeah.
So let's take that 12,800 that we just got and multiply by 65.
The
And it-
13,440.
Yeah. So in today's money, this is what we've made.
How much is it?
830,000.
Enough for each one of those people to live rich lives.
For
I imagine it's very much like you would know like the end of Red Dead
What was-
Redemption
Mhm.
when you go back to the trunk and see how much you've gathered through.
Yep.
the
What
game.
was your total taken out of the gold rush? What was
like
that?
230 million?
750,000 pounds.
Yeah, money wise.
Money wise,
240 mil?
What did you say?
240 million.
240 million.
It's gotta be.
I think it's in the trillions.
It might not be. The trillion's a big number.
Yeah,
It's probably still in the billions.
$15.6 billion.
so crazy.
$15.6 million.
Billion.
Billion dollars in the California hills today. Imagine what that would be
And that
if
was just back then,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, back then. But imagine if we did not discover gold until like today, and all that just sat
Right,
there.
if it just sat there.
Imagine
Uh-huh.
the amount of rich people that would be living in California more so than they already do. Just
Actually, if it was discovered today, not a lot of people would live in California.
No.
it would turn into
It
a
would turn
giant
into
construction.
Yeah.
It would basically become a giant construction zone.
Anyway,
Sorry.
All right.
All right.
It's not true.
No,
Keith, the
Disney.
Mormons might have colonized all of it.
That's true. So, making your way, making your way through a well-pathed area that you guys know because you've taken it.
All
A
right.
bunch.
So, as we're going, I'll start with
Mhm.
All right. It's the two of them. I suspect that they may feel inclined towards violence, but I don't know. I think maybe we post up on the road in defensible locations, but in plain sight, and we offer them the chance to surrender.
Can they come up? Don't they have to go to a bridge?
Well, yeah, eventually, but we don't need to go that far down to catch up to them, and that's assuming they're going to cross the river. They might be just heading somewhere else. I will keep tabs on them as we go to make sure we know where they are.
having place to hide from guns, good idea.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Right.
So we will.
So we're headed south.
As I say, as I check on them periodically, does it look like they're headed to the road?
Yeah, it looks like they've started carving more eastward towards the road.
So yeah, I will try and line us up so that we can intercept them.
Okay. How are you guys positioning yourselves along the road?
I don't know.
I will actually be standing just outside the tree line, very out in the open, waiting for them so that I can... Actually, I'll probably be inside the tree line, and then once I see them, I will step out onto the road.
Okay.
So hide so that they can't see us in the distance and go another direction, but wait until they are within range of us, and then step out and offer surrender.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
You think someone need be behind them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll find a spot further up the road so that I won't step out until they pass me before they get to.
If things go sideways,
Hmm?
if possible, let's avoid damaging the horses.
Fair enough. Now, do you want me as
If
extra
possible.
backup behind, or?
Wherever you feel most comfortable. It is only the two of them, however, she is armed, and I would expect her to be very dangerous.
I would think so. I'll be behind, but to the other side, kind of cover from multiple angles. That
Alright.
seems like a wise thing.
Okay.
I'll just, wherever you tell me. I'll be right there close. I don't know how good I can
Just
help.
sticking out in the open.
It's alright,
approach.
you can be a bit... Well, I'll step out into the open, but you can be just behind me in the tree line to cover me with your
I
arm.
like it, yes.
And we should probably hide so that they don't notice us before
Yeah.
they fall into our trap, but after that, I'm not too concerned about being hidden.
I agree.
Love you.
Steal cheeks for everyone.
And I will cast Pass Without a Trace for everybody.
Okay.
Make sure that we are stealthy.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go back. We'll go around the table.
I rolled really badly.
Yeah.
But with Pass Without a Trace, it comes out to an 18.
31.
31. Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
29, and Quanta got over 30.
Also, I'll just put 30 plus.
So I am the weakest link.
Yeah.
I imagine you clank a lot when you walk.
Yeah, maybe.
Or just, the grenades.
Oh, yeah, it's moving around.
He rattles.
You're
Alright, and we
musical.
will wait.
Musical instrument.
Yeah.
Okay. It does not take long to wait. You've sort of timed it all right.
Oh, good.
Maybe like 10 minutes pass before you see maybe about 100 feet down the road coming out from the woods and entering or heading towards following the road that would lead towards town. You see the gambler sort of with his curled waxed mustache and bowler hat and whatnot. Next to him you see what you assume to be Miss Estranti.
So once they are within, actually about when they come off the road, so they're not quite within pistol range of me, I will step out onto the road, my rifle just at the ready, but not
Okay.
pointed or anything. Oh there! Where are you two fine people going?
The gambler sort of sees and you see recognition. Sort of turns towards Mrs. Strani and whispers a few things. Mrs. Strani looks toward Miss
Estranti.
Estranti. Sort of looks towards you. Making good my promise.
Oh, your promise, and what would that be?
Turning myself in.
Oh, wonderful! Please allow us to escort you to town. It's very dangerous on these roads.
Certainly, of course, wouldn't mind some extra company. Would you like me roped on the ground as you lead me, tied up
I think
as I am?
I think unarmed and will lead your horses will probably do just fine.
All right then. She sort of gestures for you to grab the two pistols that are
I will
crisscrossing her
remove
chest.
her weapons.
Okay.
And as I do, so any other surprises?
Only if you're looking.
I'd rather not be surprised today. Alright, and I will search her.
Alright.
We all just gonna.
I mean, at this point, I'm going to step out.
I was gonna say,
I was gonna say, yeah.
at this point you guys can step out.
Yeah,
We
I
just
was
didn't
like,
want them seeing
yeah,
us
no,
too
I-
far.
With the grenade launcher, like, at the ready.
And as I will look over at the gambler and be like, I see your powers of persuasion are very effective.
Are we gonna let him go? That's
We're
what we
gonna
told
take
him.
Well, so I will search her.
Yeah. She does have like a Bowie knife in her boot.
I will take it.
Okay.
And other than that, I will sort of step away and be like, well, now, that is an excellent question, Clarence. I do recall asking him to make sure we never found him in disreputable company. However, they are also on their way to turn her in. So, and I will look at him, I believe this is, once again, a free pass for you, sir. You can stay if you like, or you can be on your way.
Sort of turns to you, looks at her, turns back to you, sort of tips his hat and makes his horse start going forward.
All right.
This is way too easy.
Investigation check,
The
just to
investigation
make
check.
sure that like there's no
Yeah, something.
magical,
something's
mystical.
weird.
Okay, it's-
Well, if
Does-
you're looking for magical mystical, that's going to be an arcana.
Yeah.
I would like. I'm terrible at them, but I would like to make an insight check on both.
I was
Sure,
actually, I was actually
I do
thinking I
need
would like to
Arcana.
insight
Sure.
them too.
Make your arcana, make your insight checks.
Hey, I get a bardic inspiration back.
Lovely.
Hey.
I mean, it's
What
too
is
easy.
this?
We also killed 2
Just
dozen
kidding.
people.
That is also true.
And we had a force of nature.
Oh,
with
look
us.
at the bunny!
What was that?
Okay,
I rolled
so
a
There's
1 and
now
then
like
a
a
2.
crater where
Okay,
a rabbit
um,
once was.
you don't sense any magic,
Yeah, no.
so
That was an
insight.
18.
I rolled a natural one, which is why I'm looking at the bunny now instead of where I was supposed to be
And
looking.
he was contagious, so I saw him try to explode the bunny and got distracted.
Did we all? I rolled a 1 originally too.
I mean, I didn't shoot at it. I just turned and got distracted.
18 insight.
18. There's a plan in place, but as far as you're concerned, the plan's not happening now. So, seems like this is all going according to their plan, whatever that plan may be.
So I am gonna look at Mrs. Stronti after our letting our gambler fellow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have to get in a gunfight on your behalf before we get you to the marshal and get paid, am I?
Have you pissed anyone off?
Not here.
Then I think we'll be fine.
All right. As long as whatever you've got planned doesn't involve us and doesn't happen until after we drop you off at the marshals and get paid.
Yeah, all we
We
care
get
about
along
is
just great.
getting the money.
Whatever you say.
Insight.
Should I make an insight?
Oh, that was good. 23.
23. Okay. There's a, like I said, there's a plan in place, and you don't think it involves you guys, but
Oh, well, that's fine.
it's more or less. You're not sure what the plan is, but it does not seem to include you guys. It just seems that she just needs to get wherever she's going.
I was gonna say, 'cause,
And
like, if the
more
plan is
stuff
to
will
bust her
happen.
out of jail, it's not really my problem
That's-
anymore. is it?
that's-
I mean,
We got paid.
I suspect the plan involves a chest of gold, which is no longer worth
I
she
think
left
so.
it. Not that JT knows anything about that.
Right.
So.
Of course not.
So as we start leading her on, I will periodically, so probably like every 20 or so minutes, I will stop and use primeval awareness, just to make sure we're not getting stuck up on.
Doesn't look like it.
And as we're leading her, I will make small talk, be like, "Oh, that seems like quite the outfit that you had."
Yes, a lot of them are no longer with us, unfortunately.
As in the ones that you sent after us, or the ones that you sent back to Fool's Gold?
Either or, I suppose. Take your pick.
Fair enough. It is mighty progressive. It is unusual to have a woman lead such a large band of miscreants.
Yeah, respect.
I thank you for your kind compliments and words.
I mean, it's still illegal and immoral and all that, especially with all the other death and destruction and whatnot. But gotta respect the hustle, I suppose.
Well, laws are just rules to break, right?
Their lives, however.
I will point out that as far as we are aware, neither her nor her band of miscreants actually took any lives during their robberies.
Well, didn't one of them actually admit to it?
He admitted
He admitted
to
to
killing
killing
people, but not as a part of this gang during their robberies. Otherwise, I suspect our dear Miss Estrante here would have not considered the possibility of turning herself in, given that it would have been the death penalty.
I think that player Danny got
No, it's all
like
good.
who
Yeah.
did what all makes
Well,
sense.
because I did ask him if he'd killed anyone, but as far as we were aware, that didn't sound like it was part of.
Yep.
Well, that's fair then. Yeah.
This would be a very different conversation if they had, in fact, killed people in the course of their.
You know,
Business dealings.
when you're talking about bandits and whatnot, they kind of run together in my brain.
That's
Funny.
fine.
Brain's already a little funny anyway, so, you know.
Also, my compliments. This magnitude of your success, having not had to murder anyone for it.
You know, a lot of people don't take too kindly to robbery, but hate murder a lot more. So
That's
This
true.
is very true.
That they take to murder a lot less kindly. So that's fair. That's a fair point.
you guys get to Timber Pine. It's as if you left it.
So what made you decide to turn this direction anyway, given that like you are so clearly persuasive and probably could have done a lot more stuff legal?
You mean more doing illegal?
No, I think she means you could have made your business something that was on the other side of the law.
Never been on that side.
Just one of those born into it things?
You can say that.
I imagine this is all happening as we are walking, so at one point we will stop. And Winterwolf will look back at her. You're not at all related to the Hofstettlers, are you?
No.
You don't work for them, work with them.
No.
Insight.
I mean, it's
Yep.
I believe.
Oh, mine's 12. Not sure if that's
It's a 14.
it seems to be telling the truth. She doesn't seem to
Alright.
know anything about the Hofstetters. So
Fair enough.
Well, ma'am, I hope that you can get yourself on the up and up. Because I imagine the world would do mighty fine having a woman in charge with some merit and credentials that aren't thieving. I think that it would be mighty good for you to find something else. What?
You're a lot more up on this whole justice and law thing than I expected.
But in what way?
Oh, I just didn't think that any of you particularly cared about. I didn't think any of you had any particularly strong feelings about breaking the law and justice, but
Oh, I believe in justice.
Now, the law and, like, what's right and wrong, those can be two very different things. Now, randomly thieving from people and holding folks up and whatnot, you're dealing with people that don't probably have a whole heck of a lot to lose to begin with, all that good stuff. I don't see it as being particularly a particularly good pursuit.
I'm sorry you have to be a part of this conversation.
that's funny.
I mean, I don't necessarily have like a huge issue with it when it's coming from the kinds of people that are, you know, skimming off the top and all that good stuff. But, you know, law and right and wrong, little shifty.
Well, it's the same concept with what's that? Robin Hood.
I guess
The book
kind
that came out, that little thing about people taking money from the rich and they're giving it to the poor people.
Are you implying that she's giving money to the poor people?
No, about sometimes things not being. I don't know. Like sometimes justice just isn't always what's neat. Am I not on the right page?
I don't know. I didn't. I did not expect you all to have such strong feelings about someone who stole without killing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was one of those things I thought that she was killing first because I
That is
misunderstood.
fair.
So it's not. I just also think it would be lovely to have somebody like actually female persuasion, like representing things more in a legal sense too. So it makes
Fair
us,
enough.
it elevates the gender.
So we get to Timber Pine.
Yep, getting to Timber Pine. You do get to
The marshals.
the marshals.
I will offer to help her down off her horse.
Thank you kindly.
I will say, I hope if we ever cross paths again that we don't have to cross guns.
Yeah.
But she
I will
doesn't kill.
Go inside.
Okay. Going inside, you can see the marshal sort of going over some notes, looking up to you. He's like, "Well, I'll be damned." Zelda, Oliver. He gestures for you to put her in one of the cells.
I will do so.
Okay. I hope that wasn't rough.
I mean, elements of it were, but honestly, her part, not so much.
Yeah, she was the easy part.
Good to hear.
Thanks for that, by the way, ma'am.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, you wouldn't mind just leaving my guns with the marshal
Oh
here?
yeah, no, that was the
I'd
plan.
like to at least be buried with them.
Okay. And I will go put them on the marshal's desk. I will put her knife there as well.
There's something mighty odd about that in there.
I do seem to recall. Lance realizes that he made a mistake, but it's fine. Lance realizes that she was wanted for murder, not related to the robberies, at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Murder of her husband?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know that Oliver just said she was up for murder.
Yeah. But Lance realizes that Winterwolf isn't gonna care. Winterwolf's version of morality and law, he's like, well, those are the rules that you choose to live by and play by, as long as you're willing to deal with, as long as you are willing to hold to that, right? So you want to live as a lawless bandit, and might makes right. As long as you're comfortable being that is how everyone else is going to handle you, I see no problem with it. You've made your bed, you will have to lie in it.
At some point, it's gonna come back.
So I will leave that there. And then just look at the marshal. I believe we are owed $500.
Right. He goes over to a small safe, and we'll hand you guys $500, which someone should write down.
Yep. I will give him the location of where all the bodies that we left are.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell him,
have
I believe the rest of the gang has dispersed.
I have.
Well done. I gotta say, you're very surprising,
I will take that as a compliment.
and you should. Well, now, I suppose just enjoy the rest of your time here in Timber Pine. If you're still waiting 2 weeks for whatever.
I think we're heading back out. This
About a
is
week-
one of
about a
4.
week and a half.
Oh, really? Oh,
We still
you're
got about a
going
week
for
and a
the 4 of a kind?
I have nothing else to do for the next 2 weeks.
We gotta
Well,
kill
there's
some
more
time.
money in it for you. He seems genuinely shocked that competent people are doing this.
Oh, that's just because you haven't seen us work, sugar. Competent people.
Jack? Oh yeah, we sent a young man into town last night with a captive. His name was Nicholas something or other.
You ever make it in this?
Gave him instructions to come deliver him to you. I don't suppose they've come in yet.
Oh, yeah, he dropped Nicholas off, or whatever his name was, and then the young boy absconded himself from the world. Nicholas,
Well, I don't suppose.
he sort of,
I don't suppose
he
the
sort
young
of
man-
gestures down the street where you see a tree where there is a small a body hanging.
That seems appropriate.
I don't suppose the young man mentioned where he might be. I owe
Nope.
him $5.
You didn't see him?
In that case, Marshall, Mrs. Strounthy, good luck.
Okay. All right.
I will
Okay.
keep eyes open for Jack.
For Jack? Okay.
Yeah, as I say, I will go. Actually, I want to go see whose body is there.
Yeah. You go over there. You see Nicholas.
Nicholas, okay.
Okay, good.
I just realized, I was like, we better make sure that there wasn't a switcheroo. Before we leave, then I will check the. There are a couple saloons in town, right?
There are, yes. There's the one by the mill, and then there's one by the hotel, and then one by the marshal's office.
Should maybe go inquire as to Jack.
Feel like that's a good idea. Worry about the kid.
Okay. Make investigation checks. You're trying to figure out what happened to Jack.
Wow, I cannot roll to save my life now.
I can't
have
It's
one of
just
these.
got progressively worse.
Keep that, give it to somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
18.
18. Okay. Hey, at least it's not in combat.
Wow, that
True.
was.
Yeah, I would take this.
One was a 2, one was a 3. I don't see shit.
Okay. 18.
14.
14.
6.
6. Okay. You're leading the charge.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. You begin looking through the saloons and whatnot, trying to find the young lad Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see him. You do, however, see in the saloon by the sheriff's office. You do see the professor sort of doing not a sermon, but a lecture on fossils and stuff.
Intelligent.
People seem to be enjoying the strum of words, sort of like when people there's a singer and sort of you're not like watching their performance, but it's just sort of in the background, so something's there.
Yeah.
Sort of that's what a lot of people in the tavern.
He's the tavern's white noise machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
You talk with him, see how he's doing. Seems to be all right. He does have a telegram that was sent for the group. I ripped it a little bit.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsies.
Prof. James Lead.
Stop.
Stop. Work under new management.
Stop.
Stop. Left town with Uncle Morgan to see cousin Sierra. Stop. Anna Marie.
Jaren did not pay attention to a single
Do
thing.
we know
I
that
heard
his
the-
alter ego is
Yes.
Anna Kay?
I'm gonna send that to him.
I'm gonna have to read
Well.
that.
Yeah,
The words were there and I did nothing.
It's been one of those days.
I think my brain heard stop and it was like,
I feel that
Yes.
in my soul.
Didn't realize how late it was. Let's check the time.
yeah, right.
There you go.
Couple of words. Stop.
Does that mean they're under new management?
Please tell me.
That's what I was given as
I
a telegram
know.
from Nate, so that's what I'm giving you.
So we know that. So the way Sierra is spelled there is with a C, right?
Sierra is with an S.
Yeah,
Did
okay,
he
that
spell
is
it
an
with a
S.
C? Yeah, it's an S.
Okay, he did spell it with a C. I just want to make sure that wasn't supposed to like very
No,
specific.
so it's an
Some
S,
kind
so.
of code.
Cousin Sierra.
Works under new management.
So he
Does
left.
that mean the bar?
He left town with Morgan Lachey.
To go see
Works under
cousins
new
here.
management.
I don't know where work was.
The barn?
Out of Newtown.
Well, if he left with Morgan, does that mean the new management might be in the sheriff's office?
Oh, is that what you think you mean?
Could
New
be.
management?
Some kind of an
Or
overthrow
maybe
situation?
that's his way of saying that they have a new lead.
Maybe.
Did the mayor get assassinated?
Cousin Sierra.
Because you know the area a little more, roll a survival check.
Well, with my +7, that turns my 4 into a 12.
Okay. You know there's a settlement called Sierra that's northeast of Mesa Springs.
We'll have to check in on that.
Hmm.
Well, any luck?
Haven't seen.
Okay. One more thing.
Yep.
Pops his head and says, Professor.
That 18,
Mm-hmm.
18 or so. With,
18.
With your 18, you go to the saloon where that's right by the mill. The strike is still happening.
Okay.
You, however, see the gambler talking to people and handing them money.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Uh-oh.
shifty card playing friends
Uh-huh.
paying off strikers.
Okay.
Well, that's him and shifty business. If you're gonna go after your promise, saying, whatever you did.
It is. The man should have gone further. Okay, he's paying them off?
He giving
You
money.
see him giving money to them.
Yes. Here, and I'm gonna pull you in and point, and he's like,
As he's
As I say, and I'm sure totally subtly, as this dragonborn drags me in and points across the saloon. That man, Sheriff, he's the one!
But doesn't see you.
So
He
he's...
seems to be.
What, is he... Are people like coming to a table he's at? Is he walking around and talking to them?
He's going around talking to people.
How much money is he paying?
Like $5 per person.
Holy cow.
Is that our jailbreak?
I think so. But I'm kind of inclined to look the other way.
Right?
Fair.
Okay. I will walk over to the gambler.
Okay. You walk over to him.
And I will come up behind him and put my hand on his shoulder.
Hey, friend. Hello.
Please tell me that the sheriff is going to survive this.
The sheriff's going to survive.
The marshal
Insight.
is going
the
to
marshal's
survive
going
this.
to survive this.
insight.
Sure, make an insight.
Yeah.
I can't tell what he. Well, yeah, no, I can't tell what he was.
13?
13. Seems to be telling the truth.
19.
He's telling the truth.
You are one lucky son of a bitch. Do you know that?
Yes.
All right. Good
Oh,
luck.
There's a reason he gambles.
And I'm going to walk back. I'm like, all right.
Well, I guess we have isolated how she's getting out of here.
I mean, we paid. My only concern was if their plan involved killing the marshal, because I need him alive. Other than that, and he's a friend of Mr. Lachey, so I would. But other than that, I'm not sure that I care that much.
Yeah, he seems like a decent man, so I wish him well. So I wouldn't want him to get hurt. But also, the part of me who loves a good story is really interested to see exactly what's about to happen here.
Me think we not want to be here when it happens.
I was actually going to ask if you wanted to stick around and see what happens. I suspect there's going to be an incident involving the strikers, and during that time, someone is going to disappear out of their cell.
I anticipate you're probably right. I mean, I can come back and get the story too, but
But I am really, really curious.
I mean, if you want to wait, we can watch.
I mean, It does take it. It is getting. It's like almost evening. Because it takes.
I'm gonna turn around and walk back over to the gambler. Same deal. I'm gonna come behind, hand on his shoulder again.
Yes.
How long is this gonna take?
In what way?
Well, I want to watch.
Make a persuasion.
I'm turning it into a spectator sport,
Yeah.
bud.
Can we put bats on it?
Oh wow, that's really good. 20.
Right? He sort of takes out a pocket watch and looks at it. Probably tomorrow at noon.
Oh.
Or probably tomorrow morning.
I can wait that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The kid is walking away. Good luck.
He tips his hat. You still don't know his name, too, which is so funny. It's so funny.
We tip off. I'm gonna make sure we're out the
Oh,
out the
out there
door
and then ask.
and down the street.
Yeah.
If we tip off Marshall.
I see no reason to. It doesn't sound like he's going to be in danger, and I suspect that he would stop it if he could, but I kind of want to see their plan. That son of a bitch, I really like him for some reason.
Honestly, I'm just kind of baffled by the whole group. See, when I thought they were just a really big bunch of murderers, I was not this interested in them. Now I'm just fascinated.
So, I'm thinking, tomorrow, we go get seats. Is the saloon next to or across the street from?
Right next to.
We'll find somewhere to watch from where we
You
can,
think they got a table outside?
we can see into the inside of the sheriff or the marshal's office so that we can watch what I assume is going to be a distraction somewhere in town and a gambler picking the lock on the cell and freeing her and running out of town. I don't want to be in the sheriff's office because then I would feel obligated to prevent it.
Is there like a boarding house or something across the street?
Across
With like
the
an
street from the
upstairs-
marshal's place is the hotel.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
sit on the balcony.
We'll sit on the balcony and we will watch what I think is going to be quite the spectacle.
As long as the marshal doesn't die, that's kind of my.
Well, but that's why I asked him if the marshal was going to survive. Because as long as the marshal is
We
not
get
in
paid.
danger, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like the marshal accepts that criminals are going to try to,
Shit happens.
bypass him, and that is just the nature of his job.
What if we catch her again?
That is an interesting thought that we'll have to circle back around to.
Okay.
It might just happen.
There's nowhere in Timber Pine that buys the gold, is there?
In Timber Pine?
Yeah.
There probably would be.
I'm gonna
There's a
ask.
cell
We should go find that place.
You see, sort of on the edge of town, sort of in a small shack,
The little
you
assessor's
see
office.
an assessor's office. Yes, how may I help you? Just sort of this shaky little old man.
I'm gonna hold up the bag. I believe you are where I take this to turn it into cash.
Yeah, this is me. He'll take his time and start doing everything. He will take $1 fee for processes
That's
and
fine.
whatnot. So
Tell you
you
what,
know the
have a
math.
look.
You guys know the maths of the. So
Yeah, I say
Yeah,
we
you
just
said it was
do
it was $160.
$160.
Well, I say we each cash in ours right now.
Do you think he'll accept that?
We
Oh,
can
he won't get suspicious because each of us have
have a sack of
a
gold.
sack?
Nah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the limit is when they start
No.
questioning.
We make sure that we don't
So,
deposit too
so
much.
from
money.
the
Yeah,
from the
that's what I
the
mean.
2 pounds, right? This is the 2 pounds.
Yeah, it's the 2 pounds.
Times 16 and then times 20, right?
Times 6.
No, so each of us have a half pound.
Well, each of us have the bag. Each of us has is worth $160.
Right.
Okay.
So if you want to cash yours in, it is $160 cash.
Yes.
I mean,
You'll
I
get
see,
159 out of it.
I see
basically.
no
Yeah,
problem with no
$159.
reason to
That's
not.
yeah. That sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
Everyone can cash theirs in then.
It is easier to carry as cash than.
Mhm.
Well,
Actually, no. He would give you a banknote
to
So,
go to the
oh.
yeah.
to take it to a bank, because
He
Is there
wouldn't
a-
have that.
He wouldn't have that. He wouldn't have
on
that
hand.
handy.
Is
So
there
he
a
writes.
bank in?
There is a bank in Timber Pine. So.
Okay.
So then we go to the bank,
bank.
and then we get our cash.
Well, I will say you'll probably have to get your cash tomorrow because it's very late
That's
right now.
fine.
Okay.
So
In
just-
that case,
just for
how late is
clarification.
it? Okay, let me ask this: is it too late for me to go buy a horse?
I'll say you could buy a horse.
Well, so I will go into the place to get a
Okay.
horse, and I will ask them how much is the going rate,
So I think it's like $75 for a horse.
and then I will be like, I will want to inspect the horses, and I will be trying to find a horse that seems pretty sturdy, good endurance, and good amount of hit points, so it can withstand the dangerous company I keep.
I'll say for $100, the horse you're looking for, and all of the barding and all of the saddle work you'll need. So
All right, so as we're discussing this, I'm like, all right, and I will show him the banknote.
okay.
Well, I will hold it up and be like, I have a banknote. I'm getting the money tomorrow. Can you hold this horse until tomorrow morning?
He agrees.
Thank you
You're
very much.
not asking for it now or anything,
Yeah.
so you're just promising that he won't
Yeah,
sell
but
it.
he won't sell it
tonight.
between now and when I can get here.
Yeah.
All right, and then I will go to the hotel, and this will be the first time that Winterwolf stays the night at the hotel.
Oh, joy.
All right, you guys. Anything else anyone wants to do?
I
This
will tell you
evening?
guys when we come back. Like,
That's it.
I'm getting a horse.
Honestly, that's probably a real solid plan.
Probably take off a good, maybe like 3 hours of travel time tomorrow. So you'll have at least the late afternoon, evening to see.
You think they have horse for me?
Were there any horses
Real
in there
Shetland
that seemed
pony?
big enough that they could handle Mr.
Evens or
JT?
odds?
Odds.
There is a Clydesdale.
So I'll be like,
There is a
Actually-
Clydesdale.
yes.
It's not,
I look at tomorrow.
it's not fast, but it's more draft horse, but
Yeah.
it fits the purposes of
I don't think
supporting
there's a
your
horse
weight.
you could fit on that would be considered fast.
That's a fair point. That's a real solid point.
Okay.
You guys, unless there's anything else, get a
No, I think that was it.
wonderful rest.
Okay.
In the morning, you do see, as you're getting up, you do hear the sound of what sounds like hammering. Looking out, you do see like there's a platform that's being made in front of the sheriff's office. So,
Oh, guys, I got coffee.
Yeah, I was going to say we have breakfast.
as a side note, it's 75 cents for staying at the hotel, 50 cents for the room, and 25 cents if you're getting the good food. So,
Before whatever's going to go down is probably going to go down, I'm going to go collect my horse. I don't know
Okay.
if the rest of you want to come get a horse.
I will
I
probably
think I'll do
go to the
same.
bank and-
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. So I'll go to the bank and then I'll go with you. And how much is the Clydesdale?
I'll say the same promise. $100 for the
$100?
horse and everything you'll need for it, like saddles and
That'll
stuff
work.
like that. So
I will take it.
okay. What about the piano player and the?
If they have a horse that's black and white, I can call piano.
Aww.
I'll say there is.
All right, that's what I'm going. I'm buying piano.
That's happy as
Like
cow.
it's white and then black stripe and then white.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I want. I'm calling it piano.
What do I have to
Okay.
choose from here?
I mean, I'm lenient if you want to just say a horse that's there. It will be
Create your dream horse, Danny.
there. Name your dream horse,
It
Danny.
has a unicorn horn.
just I love thing, dude.
Yeah, I just tie one with a bow. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't actually know that much.
I should have
about
black
horses.
No white.
Arabian, Mustang, Clydesdale, Shetland pony.
Grab a Mustang.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of wild and free sort of thing. It's gonna kick me off a lot.
It's got a free spirit.
It does. It does. That's alright. I do too. I can respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. One more thing, because we need to start remembering to do this.
Oh, I gotta write
Thank
that.
you.
6.
Horse named piano.
6 it is.
Now I need a name for a Clydesdale.
Or you just couldn't get attached to it. It might die.
None the wiser. I don't know, something about Budweiser or something.
I almost want to do a callback to Nobody and just say that the horse is No Name.
Yeah.
Been through the desert on a horse
With
with
no
no
name.
name.
Or Friday.
But I probably won't do that though. The last horse I had, which I don't know what happened to it because it had a great big X next to it, but the last one was Midnight. I don't know what happened to Midnight. I forget
Is
what
it
happened
from this character?
for this character. Yeah.
Oh, it got eaten by Greed.
Yeah.
In the
yeah,
shed.
that was we had horses.
Oh,
That's when we lost them.
That's right.
All you found of what was left of Midnight. Oh no, they took it with them because they needed some food on the go
They
before
Yeah.
because
yeah,
they couldn't
yeah.
go far.
Yeah, they stole
without
my
him.
horse.
Yeah,
Bloody horse.
but you
thieves.
could imagine that he probably got it
Yeah.
as like a travel snack.
Okay.
So okay,
You said that was going to do 75.
it's 100 for
Okay.
the
For
horse
your
as well as
specific
like all
horse
the
setting.
barring.
Think
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm gonna call him Brutus.
That's a good name. That's a solid name.
Et Brutus. Okay. You guys get your horse and decide to like go to the spot you're gonna watch whatever's gonna happen.
Yep. I imagine we purchase the horses and leave them in the livery stable until time
Until
of
it goes
no.
down.
Actually, I bring them over to the hotel, or
Okay.
I'm gonna bring mine. I'm gonna be like, you should bring yours.
Okay, so we'll lead Brutus out.
I assume that the horse that we brought her in on is still at the sheriff's office.
We'll give that one to the
Yeah.
professor.
Well, that's not our horse. Because I would've
should we
lent
just
it
be
to the
standing
sheriff.
out front with it, just like?
I'm like, I'm not gonna stand up front with it, but I am gonna like it's right there, and that's why I'm like, we're just gonna wait right here. And I expect to see a gambler go in, and the two of them come out and ride off on horses.
Okay. You have that platform has been built right now, and you can see a small gathering of people are starting to come in, and you can see off to one side of the platform you see 12 chairs. You see a table, 2 tables placed on top of the. 3 tables on the platform. You can see on one, you see. In the middle one, you see just an older gentleman that's sort of standing there, or sitting down, a bunch of papers and all that in front of him. You see at the left, sort of with handcuffs or manacles, you see Miss Zelda Estrani, sort of at the thing. Sitting next to her is the gambler. You see on the opposite end, Sheriff Oliver Poulter, as well as another gentleman. And you watch for the next 30 minutes as 12 people are randomly selected and sit in the chairs
To be the jury. Okay.
to be the jury. All of them seem to be.
This is not what I expected the solution to be,
This
but I
is-
am still very interested in it.
Yes, this is a
Okay.
direction I did not anticipate this going.
Now, I don't want to role play an entire trial.
No, that's fine.
No offense
Understandable.
to all of you
Perfectly
for
understandable.
watching me do an Atticus Finch
Just by
performance
yourself
of
in the
this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase.
Should have gotten like a big box of different wigs and hats.
Just-
I'm just gonna cut to the chase. For the next 3 hours, you guys watch a trial. Ms. Zelda is accused of robbery as well as the murder of her husband. Her lawyer, a man by the name who introduces himself as Philip Negranu.
Is that the gambler?
Brand new.
Yep,
I got that reference. That's good. That's a good reference.
that's a good reference.
It's a good one.
I'm unfamiliar with this one.
He's one of the best
Negranu
players.
is probably like the best poker player in the world today,
Ah,
and personally my favorite play style of poker
fair
person.
enough. Fair enough.
And then Philip is just a nice name. begins to weave a tapestry of how terrible her husband was to her and abusive and whatnot, and that her pain of being abused led to a life of crime and whatnot. And, slowly talking back and forth, we hear from Mrs. Strani herself, who does not apologize for anything that she's done.
This does not surprise me.
And then, after the 3 hours of the talk, the jurors are led to the saloon, which has been emptied, so that they may discuss.
They can deliberate.
So they may deliberate.
So when they lead them over, I'm going to start, like, at our tables. So I'm pretty sure I know the verdict that's about to be rendered.
She's innocent. I listened to 3 hours. I don't believe she
I'm
did it.
beginning to think he didn't even need to pay them.
I'm kind of thinking you might have been right. This is a masterwork.
No, you guys watch the same trial I did.
Does Mrs. Strani or Philip at all notice us?
I mean, they notice your presence, yeah.
I'm just sitting there
So,
with
I was
popcorn.
if at any point, if I make eye contact with them, I'm just like,
Okay. You watch,
Just smile.
You watch as 10 minutes later,
All right.
the jury comes back and a verdict of not guilty is given out.
Outstanding. No, I agree.
so when they render this, Winterwolf was gonna get up and walk over to where to go stand by where her horse is still tethered. I assume and he's just gonna wait.
You see, slightly ticked off, you do see Sheriff Oliver Poulter hand her guns and her Bowie knife, sort of angrily, but just be like, well done.
It was a fair trial.
She waits the 20 minutes to get a legal document saying that she has been absconded from the accounts of robbery and the death of her husband. She now has the legal documents for that.
She can no longer be accused of murder for her husband.
Or those specific
robberies. No, any future robberies not covered.
Correct.
I mean, they've got the
By
gold
then,
for
the
it.
people, everyone has dispersed. People are taking her out the platform apart. As she exits out, dusting off, the gambler sort of stands next to you as well, just waiting for her.
So when he comes over, I'm gonna be like, that is not what I expected,
It never is.
but I am entertained by this outcome. Good job.
That was a masterclass, man.
Yeah. Mrs. Strani comes down to her horse.
I will hand her the reins to her horse.
Thank you.
In the future, I would suggest keeping your operations small enough that you do not attract our sort of attention.
I'll keep that in mind.
And I'm just looking between them. I'm thoroughly amused and impressed.
Thank you.
Same.
And I will go get on my horse and make ready to leave.
Okay. As I now assume you guys are heading to
Back to Fool's Gold.
or finally to Fool's
Yeah,
Gold.
since we
Finally.
never made it there.
Yeah.
And so as we're riding, that was an impressive display.
That was something.
I feel like it exposes the deep flaws in your justice system,
100%.
but thoroughly fascinating.
No, it was straight trial, through and through.
They probably spent like $500 paying off
So
witnesses,
as we're riding,
or paying off the
just in
jury.
case, you
just
never
in
know
case.
who's gonna-
You do understand what you saw happen, right?
He
No.
absolutely does not.
No, I saw a
The
trial.
lawyer told a really good story, yes, but also they had paid the members of the jury so they would give a not guilty verdict.
When did that happen? I mean, I went to
When-
the bathroom.
When we were in the
Wait a
saloon
minute.
with him, he was paying them money.
I wasn't there. I was in the bathroom.
That's fair.
I will tell you that they were paid off to ensure that the answer would be not guilty.
But you watched the trial, like
I
you saw
did.
the information.
I thought it was a thoroughly facet, but I also know that she did in fact murder her husband and rob people.
Were you there? No, sorry.
Rob people
We know the
and
Robin
did
people.
not apologize.
Robbing people. Yeah.
We have the evidence of the robbery.
Yes.
And with us it shall remain.
Indeed. Till death to us part.
But I realize there's about 12,000 bits of information.
All right. As you guys head towards towards Fool's Gold, knowing you will not be accosted upon this road. No longer will anyone be accosted upon this road. Now, I have to roll it because there's a chance.
I want it to be their same gang, and we'll just be like, guys.
We have done this before.
So, all right, I'm gonna pull back the curtain for a second to tell you what we're about to do. Now, Negranu and Estrani don't care about the group. They're now just gonna go back, get the gold, and forever leave. However, someone has moved the gold. Now, I have to try and make a check to see if they can find it. So, I'm gonna roll this in front of the table just so
we
that
can
you
all
know,
see what you roll.
so they all can see. So
see if they get the natural 20.
so they do have
or not.
advantage because they're helping each other. Also, the gambler as well. So
with advantage, can
with
they
advantage,
get the
can
natural
they
20?
get the natural 20? Or, well, I hope they can find it because this would be a very interesting story for them.
Yep. Oh, that's 16.
That's an 18.
No, 18.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still high, but
So
what
this
was
was
the,
a-
so
this
what
was
was
an
the
18,
DC
that was
that you
16?
had? Did we even set a DC?
Well, so it was a natural 20 is what I rolled. I can also tell you what it would have been with my bonus.
Yeah.
27.
It's just not enough
So
for them to
what
be
I,
able
what
to
I
find the
desperately
gold.
want is for them to go get their gold, realize it's gone, and then go, those sons of bitches, and then spend the rest of the game trying to find us again for their gold.
Frenemies situation.
Yeah. Will you please hand me my dice, please?
There you go.
They were absolutely going to just take the gold and leave. You guys just happened to find it.
Yeah, no, I want this to be a continual, just like over and over. We keep winding up.
Yeah.
the final boss battle. They walk in. I finally.
Except I want it to remain the way it's been, which for other than the fight with Philip to begin with, I want it to remain completely bloodless. Like it's just one-upping each other.
Yeah. You guys get to Fool's Gold. Now, it's very much like a tent city.
Yeah.
There's not. There is no built structure. It is all just tents. City of tents. You get into town, and what would you guys like to do from here?
I am disappointed that I suspect that not a single one of the rest of these gangs are going to be nearly as entertaining as that resolution was.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh no, a bunch of hillbillies in the woods, Billy Bob, Joe Bob, whatever. Like I feel like it will be entertaining for a very different reason.
Well, did the Billy Bob Joe franchise kill anybody?
No.
Okay.
I just think like if you have your name that like just out in the open, you gotta be good at something. Right?
Moonshine.
I mean,
They're
I don't
good
know
at
if that's-
moonshine.
It might
Just
just
The goal is to invest in there.
And they're mega still.
I mean,
So it is up to us. So, laying out our map again. So, we are in Fool's Gold. Now, according to what we know, the Billy Bob Joe franchise tends to rob people along Hollows Canyon. However, there are only 3 of them. So, tracking them might be a little difficult because it'll be a much smaller group. The Dalton gang, which is Joshua Dalton and his 5 kids. And they have killed people, but they try to be mostly nonviolent. Last we heard, they are camped somewhere in this area. On this side of the river.
Okay.
Lastly, there are the Flames of the Phoenix, which is a very ostentatious name for a gang.
It's really, really, yeah.
And last we heard, they had tried to set fire to encampments here in Fool's Gold. Now, there may be more up-to-date information in Fool's Gold about where people have ran into trouble.
Seemed to me that we've tried to find the ones where we are.
We can
I
ask
think so.
around,
I don't know if
yeah.
they're actually in town, but we can ask around.
Yeah.
So we should ask around about all of them and see. But generally speaking, it looks like that's the nature of things so far. So we should probably look for some sort of deputy or some sort of law enforcement or security office, and the saloons, the gambling halls, and that sort of thing.
Sound fair.
Yeah.
Make general investigation checks, and then I'll go through what each person is specifically looking for. And
I'm glad it's now and not in combat.
Space.
Investigation.
Investigation. Whoa, that's another nat one.
12.
9.
well, actually, I will also allow persuasion if you're just talking to people.
Oh,
Try and,
persuasion.
Just try and like butter them up for
That's your
information.
specialty, Clarence.
Okay.
Well, performance is but still.
Because I just thinking about it. So,
19.
13.
all right, we'll go through each person, and I'll ask you what specifically you're looking for. So, who wants to go first? Who just wants to volunteer to see what they can?
I'll go 13.
All right.
13.
Where are you trying to look for information?
This is a world of tents right now. So I'm
It is a
literally
world
just
of
gonna go to I'm going like 3 tents down, and I'm just gonna
And what did you roll for persuasion?
13.
13. Okay. Talking to people about information with a 13. Not a lot of the people you talk to have had dealings with the Dalton gang or the Billy Bob Joe franchise. They have been dealing with the Flames of the Phoenix,
Okay.
which is every once in a while a tent will burst into flame, and then it will people will be alerted depending on who is around.
Now, is it does it seem to be specifics like tents over other tents, or kind of just random?
It's random enough that it seems like they're targeted, and then all of their stuff is stolen and the tent set on fire, and then they abscond with whatever they've taken.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I probably wouldn't learn a ton with.
that's about as much as you learn. So, who else would like to try for information on what they're doing?
I'm doing the persuasion side
Yeah.
of things too, and that's 19.
Any kind of people you're talking to and where you're going specifically?
I actually think I might be talking to some of the seedier people, because there's a good chance, I mean, it's certainly not a for sure thing, but there's a good chance that if these guys are targeting specific tents or whatnot, that there's at least some kind of a network with people who are telling them what folks have, sneaking around, being underhanded behind the scenes, trying to figure out what's there to get got.
Okay. Talking with them, a lot of the citier people, none of them know anything about who the Phoenix, the Flames of the Phoenix person or people are. They do what they do, abscond really quickly, and no one ever sees them. So, and then, no reason for them to be attacked or whatever. It just seems like however they're getting their information about whatever is in the tents,
It's not these guys.
it's not the seedier people. But from what you can tell, it's someone who would be invited into tents. Not the seedier people, but someone who seems to be outwardly accepted to entering tents.
So I started with the wrong people.
Along with your role, you also learn that the reason why a lot of people don't go through Hollow Canyon is because Hollow Canyon is haunted by a specter that they say.
I'll just raise some dead and bring them with me. We'll have a party.
And then you don't hear the seedier people don't. The Dalton gang will occasionally, one of the brothers will like come in and like buy some supplies, and then abscond before anyone catches on to them. So, but it's always like a different brother, and no brother like talks to the same person again. So it's very hard to try and catch them. So.
Okay. Did anybody offer any stories about the specter or anything?
Yes. So it's this ethereal specter that sort of terrifies people as people try to go through the canyon. Like you can hear like the noises of like the moaning of the dead and colored lights that move through the trees, sort of a shtick.
Nothing that couldn't be someone.
But if you don't go through at night, which is when most of the Spectre stuff happens, you'll get robbed by the Billy Bob Joe franchise during the day.
Oh, so we at least know where they are.
Yeah.
Really easy. All right. Well,
Everyone knows that that's where they operate. It's just that anyone who has tried to sneak out during the night to try and abscond with any gold runs into the Spectre. So that's what you learn.
So this is more like a tent city. Is there like a specific spot set up for like a horse line, or is there like some kind of makeshift corral, stable kind of thing?
Community water.
Because I'm going to be...
There would probably be like a little area where some logs have been set up to sort of make makeshift stables.
Okay. So I'm taking the horses there, and I'm going to just sort of ask around if anybody's seen any like odd comings and goings recently related to maybe odd happenings in the camp, like tents burning down, and weird horses show up, weird people show up, tents burn down, and pretty soon those same horses and people are gone again, that kind of thing.
What did you roll for your...
Rolled a 12.
Okay. No one weird or anything like that. Like, everyone's weird because everyone is paranoid because anyone could, like, stab anyone in the back for their gold.
Okay.
It's that sort of, like, gold rush fever.
Okay. That one just doesn't...
Wow.
Where'd it go?
We'll go over to Winterwolf for the last bit
I'm
of information.
actually going to use persuasion, but I am looking for like the local security or whatever amounts for the law and order in the tent city.
Okay. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 16.
16. Oh, yeah. There's not necessarily like a law and order. There is a group of individuals who they sort of wear these red scarves, and they're sort of like general security, but more or less just like people who are just like, hey, if you just give us food or whatever, we'll try our best to keep bears or whatever. Bears. Basically, they're trying to run their own like law enforcement, but there's not like law. It's just more or
private
less
security.
just like a private security, just like maybe like a group of 6 guys who have guns and sort of patrol around. But you talking and looking at them, they don't seem like as competent as you would think.
As I say, seeing that can actually head to the saloon or gambling hall.
There are several saloons and gambling halls, so you can just head to one of them.
And I will try and ask around there about anybody who's recently been robbed, coming or going into Fool's Gold.
Well, you do get a bunch from the Astroni gang, but they only get people who are leaving. And most people come back so they can try and find more gold to try and leave. The Dalton gang usually hit the northern banks of the river, which not a lot of people have been able to.
So when you say the northern banks, are they hitting the east or the west side of the north bank?
It seems like they'll alternate occasionally. Like sometimes they mostly hit the western bank, but occasionally they tell you like there's a story where someone will get hit in the eastern bank.
Okay.
Because a lot of people move to the eastern bank to try and make money, and if a lot more people head there, then they try and get robbed.
Gotcha. Okay.
You also hear the story of the haunting of Hollow
Of Hollow
Canyon,
Canyon.
and that Billy Joe Bob franchise people also will rob you if you try and go through there.
I will ask if they can direct me to anyone who is still here in Fool's Gold who has been robbed by any one of the gangs.
Sure. You can find like one group that had like a person that's been robbed by the Daltons, and you can also find a person that's been robbed by the Billy Joe Bob Joe franchise.
Anybody who's had their tent burned?
I'll say you can find one of all three.
Okay.
So I'll say, just so we can collectively come back together,
Mm-hmm.
you all get back together and you say that you found a couple of people.
Yeah.
And so you all gather back up together to talk to these three people. Which one would you like to talk to first?
Well, where do we want to start? We got 3 witnesses.
Well, I imagine let's start off maybe with the folks had their tent burned.
All right.
I have one more idea somewhere I can search, but if you guys like,
Do you feel like it's important that you search before we talk to these people?
maybe we could talk to the people first.
All right.
So you're talking to the witness of which one?
The Flames of the Phoenix.
Okay. You go and it's this gruff gentleman who's just sort of talking to you. Well, I woke up and saw that my tent was on fire, so I got up and tried to save as much as I can, but I immediately went for where my gold was stashed and saw that it had been taken, so I tried to grab as much as I could, but by then I lost most of my stuff other than what was I wearing and at least my boots.
So did you lose it to the fire, or did they steal things other than the gold?
Well, only thing I saw was that the gold was taken, because that's what I tried to grab for first. Saw that was missing, and then tried to grab a few of my belongings before most of it burned down.
Gotcha.
By then, before it could lick onto another tent, people were helping
Yeah.
take out the flames.
And you didn't notice anything out of place or suspicious in the days leading up to this?
No. I usually keep quiet when I found a decent sized nugget. Not about 3 weeks ago. You're talking the one that barely burned down from 2 weeks ago. About a week before I was doing that, and then I was trying to figure out how I was going to get out of this, out of Fool's Gold to try and sell it, and I was just talking to a bunch of people, seeing like what they had done or if there was any way to go through that way. I even talked to the preacher man to see if God would grant me passage.
Who's this preacher man?
Yeah, and maybe some of your other friends' names too.
Father Gerard.
Butler?
Sure. Why not?
All right. We're new here, so I'm not sure how it works. Do you normally are there people who offer to take care of your tents or anything while you are off in the hills, or anyone who would have had easy access to your tent?
I mean, I usually carried the nugget around with me, but not that I can recall.
If you usually carry with you, why you leave it in tent that night?
Well, I was sleeping, and I usually have it in the bottom of my shoe. So when I checked, it was gone.
And I assume nobody else knew where you keep your gold.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, unless any of you have any questions.
Not really. Not right off. Just like any folks that you've been letting in on a regular talk or anything like that, just in case. But man, I think that mainly covers it for me too.
Well, thanks for answering our questions. We appreciate it.
I think he's sleeping.
Yeah.
I feel it.
All right. So that's what
So
you
we
get
got the
from
next two people?
Okay. Which one do you want to talk to next? The Dalton family witness or the Billy Bob Joe franchise?
Let's do the
witness?
Daltons.
All right. You go to the Daltons. You meet a man who's somewhat youngish, maybe like early 20s. You see, he's got like this scar on the side of his cheek, and occasionally as he talks, you can see that he might be missing a couple teeth along the side.
Gotcha.
Oh, fun.
Well, I was panning for gold, and I heard a splash behind me, and as I turned around, I saw this big feller come in and just whack me on this across the face, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was tied up and just barely trying to keep my head above the river rocks. I got back. I wiggled my way out of the river and eventually found a sharp rock and was able to cut the rope. When I got back to my encampment, most of the stuff was strewn about and scattered everywhere. My gold was gone, as well as a couple of the supplies.
Were there any other encampments anywhere near you?
I mean, a lot of people try to keep themselves distanced enough that no one can see what each other's doing in case someone strikes a gold and sort of paranoia and whatnot.
Sure. Which bank of the river were you on?
The northern western river.
All right. Are there any easy crossings over to the northern side?
There's a fjord further to the north,
All right.
sort of along the edge of the map.
Gotcha. All right. I think that pretty much sums up any questions we have. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. He thanks you and leaves.
Well, on to the Billy
On
Bob
to the
Job
Billy-
franchise.
All right. You find a gentleman with only one leg, who's sort of sitting by the edge of the river, sort of looking out towards it.
They steal his leg. Very Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I was traveling through Hollow Canyon trying to abscond with some of the gold I had when I fell into some sort of pit and broke my leg. And then was accosted by three gentlemen who told me to give them my
Poor guy.
my supplies. So I gave it to them and hoped they would drop me a rope so I could get out. They didn't drop a rope and just left.
And they didn't ask for your gold, they just asked for your supplies.
Well, my gold and my supplies.
Okay.
And then I was able to climb my way out and made my way back to town. I unfortunately lost my leg to it being broken when I landed in the pit. So,
Were these three gentlemen specific, like any description of them? Was there anything that stood out about them?
Hillbilly, long, scraggly beards. One was bald, the other two sort of longer hair.
They got held up by ZZ Top.
Sort of wild looking men.
Did they threaten you with weapons or anything, or just after you were in there, the pit asked for your gold and supplies?
I mean, they had like rifles and shotguns and pistols, but they didn't seem to think that I was an issue that just because I was in the pit.
Understood. How big of a pit was this?
Where's your supplies in the pit with you?
Well, yeah, I was carrying it with them.
Oh.
And when
So how
we
did they
fell
get
in-
it? Did they just like come? in
They
and snag
dropped
it
a rope
all?
with a hook on it, and I put my supplies on it, and they hoisted it back up. About a 10 feet, about 10 feet. 10 by 10 by 10.
All right. Interesting.
I about bet my left small toe that all the supernatural shenaniganery going on through there is them putting something on.
Could be. Well, any other questions?
Not that I can think of right off.
Well, so what do we know the least about? Like which company? People? Gang?
Maybe the Phoenixes at this point.
I think at this point.
Yeah,
we're-
no, I imagine you
Yeah.
were talking after the witness.
Yeah, we know.
We're
the
just standing there
least-
talking to
Yeah.
him while he's sitting there.
We know the least about the flames of the Phoenix because all we know is that different tents burst into flame, and when they wake up to the fire, or when they notice the fire, the gold's gone.
Make perception checks. Very, very high DC.
I
Does this rely on
roll.
hearing or sound
Yeah.
or sight?
It relies on sight.
Yeah, I meant smell.
10.
10,
4.
4.
22 for Quanta.
Okay.
Very, very low for me. 8.
I'm not used to
So,
tens.
Quienta, the true hero of the story,
Absolutely, always.
sort of sees something and sort of looks southward.
I will also look southward.
Well, if you pull up the map,
Uh-huh.
you can see that there's a sort of a cliff just to the south.
Yes.
Right at the tip there, if you guys wait just a moment, you do see a glint occasionally.
We checking it out?
I mean, maybe. I'm not sure that's enough for me to care. It's somebody looking through either the sun reflecting, but probably looking through a scope or binoculars or something. But I'm not sure that alone warrants my investigation. Something to keep an eye on, but I mean, it's a tent city full of people who might have gold and are trying to get back to civilization with it. I don't think it's shocking that there might be people watching it.
I'd certainly say that that's not a surprise, no, but also there's just as many people watching it to try and take it off of them as there would be people watching it to keep it safe. And
True.
seeing as all of the people that we are looking for are the types of people that would be watching them to take it off of them.
True.
I don't know.
I mean, it also could be someone unrelated to any of the...
That is.
How far away are we
certainly true.
talking?
A mile.
I mean, maybe we head up there when it gets dark. I'm also a little... Well, it's all covered. It's all still covered. Everything's covered in trees, right? We're
Yeah.
still in the forest. Okay. I mean, if you would like to, we certainly can. We don't have a ton of...
Well, actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. From that cliff down to the river is sort of just like all open.
Make good lookout point.
Right, but that's my concern is if we were to try and approach it right now, we would certainly be seen coming.
Do you want to use your scope to see if you can see anything?
We can use my binoculars.
Or you
Sure,
can-
I will try and use my scope and try and prevent glint off my scope.
Sure. Make a perception check with advantage.
$21.
21. You see that there seems to be a tent set up there. There also seems to be like a stand. Like you've never seen. Your character would probably never see what this is. You see like what looks like a wooden stand, something, and then what looks like a tripod with a big scope.
Well, there's definitely somebody up there. I got a tent and a scope on a tripod.
I suppose I could ask the little couple of the more established folks that have been here for a bit if they've got like a common lookout up there.
Sure. Doesn't seem like the kind of place. When I looked around for a sort of the security or law and order type, I found a handful of men with guns who that was the extent of the organized security.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that that fellow perched up there is probably one of the folks that we're going to be interested in, but I'll check just in case,
Sure.
save us the trip. So I'm going to go to like the security folk
Yeah.
and ask if they have like lookout points up high.
So you go talk and say lookup points. They nod their head. No, we don't have any lookup points there. That would be the artist.
The artist?
We don't know his actual name is, but there's some guy up there painting and looking at the scenery through one of them telescopic things.
He ever come down this way?
I mean, occasionally, see if anyone's got like supplies and whatnot.
So you know he's up there.
Yeah.
You guys keep eyes on him around the time all these bad things happen?
I mean,
with
he's
the-
always up there, so we see no reason for him to have come down here.
As I say, you asked the 6-man security team.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. Well, and none of you guys have gone up there and talked to him.
I mean, a couple of us have, but he just sits up there painting.
Have you ever asked him about any of the stuff he saw down here?
Well, from what we've seen and asked of him, he is painting the local area to preserve it before the industry destroys it because of the amount of industry the gold rush will bring or something like that.
That's fair, but did any of you guys ask if he saw any activity in and out of the tents or things like that before they go up in flames?
I mean, we've asked in the past, but he always gives like cryptic, like the whole world's gonna go up in flames, so why would I notice a small spark to start the, one of those sort of weirdos that interprets art weird.
I mean, I don't know that there's a weird or normal way to interpret art, but I get what you're saying. Well, that's interesting. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. I'm going to be thinking about if I think that might actually be a useful person to talk to or not. All right. I'll go and tell you guys what I found out. I feel like there's a non-zero chance he might be involved with something or another. I don't know, but
Or might have seen something. I mean,
I'm
that's
almost
possibility.
positive he's seen
I mean,
something,
I am not
but-
the only decision maker here. If y'all think it's a good idea, we can absolutely go up and talk to him.
So one of those things I don't know that we'll get anything useful, but I also don't know that we won't.
I mean, it
He also
doesn't
sounds-
have an extra day to just get information is
Yeah,
better than not.
he does
So,
sound a bit like an eccentric. We might get nothing.
I mean, we travel here with quite the eccentric in the professor.
This
So,
is true.
It's
It's
fair
a
point.
pity we do not have him with us.
oh, they have such a class.
It would
act
take
on
so
them.
long to get them away from each other, but
All right. I feel like it's probably going to be.
I'm down for it.
It's a worthwhile thing to at least try, right?
do you want to just walk up, or do we want to try and take him by surprise?
I say we just walk up. I mean, we
Yeah, it
have no
doesn't sound
reason
like
to.
yeah.
All right,
Let's
sounds
save
like a
ourselves
plan.
the trouble.
We're gonna go walk up to see the artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, it's kind of a hardish climb, so you guys start heading up. It's going to take like an hour to get up the cliff and around. When you get up there, you see a small, like a small one-person like white tent, like big enough that maybe like a cot and some stuff could be in there. And you see a couple of like 2 or 3 crates up here that one is open, and you can see it's like filled with supplies. And you can see a small little one of those like fold-out stools with the fabric on top, sort of there. And sitting on it, you see a figure, sort of painting like a landscape painting of what he can see in front. You'll see like a very old, like decrepit looking telescope that's kind of next to him that occasionally he'll like stand up and like look through and then go back down and look through. As you approach, you can see, just from what you can see from behind him, he looks like looks like he's wearing like a wool, a short wool cloak, sort of pants with some maybe like hiking boots. You can see he on his head's like a red beanie that has like the long back, very long. Sort of just going back and forth to between the painting and the telescope and painting as he's going.
Howdy, Mr. Man.
Howdy.
Are we still on this screen for a reason? I just looked
Oh.
up and was like,
We're just looking at we're checking out the map.
Sorry.
sorry, I'm just
Just
like
painting
fiddling
as
with
they
this
go.
thing under it for however long it's been up there. Well, so I hear that you've got an interesting perspective up here that you're painting from.
High up gives a lot of advantage to sunlight and see a lot more of it beyond the trees.
Oh, I'd love to see your work. What you got here?
You look and you can see that he is it's a landscape of what's in front of him. The river winding across, the pine trees, the distant maybe mountains far to the north. And you can see he's kind of working currently on like the tents that are at the bank, sort of painting as he goes.
Is this actually any good?
It's very good.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's some beautiful work.
It's very good. You snap.
Oh dear.
What have you done, Danny?
I don't know.
You begin to see the world as if it was painted by an artist.
I've
like
had
the
this
trees,
tree before.
like the trees gloop with leaves made of just dried paint that just sort of gently sags downward due to gravity.
Well, I didn't see this coming.
You return back to everything as of normal.
Whoa.
We see art in various ways, yes.
Yeah, apparently I get up close and personal with it. That was a surprise. Okay.
You okay?
You know, sure. Truly beautiful. Gorgeous stuff.
And you're right next to him, right by the painting. You turn to him and you can see he's very pale. Like not like Nostradamus.
He is not
Or
a
like
vampire.
no Nosferatu, that was the one.
Nostradamus.
He's not like not Nosferatu like pale, but like pale like as in like someone who
He's sick.
Probably not well.
well probably like not well or something like that.
He shouldn't be this pale for standing in the sun for probably as long as
Yeah,
he's
probably that's a better description. And you can see he's also wearing a pair of those glasses that's just like the dark rimmed, the circle glasses with like the hooks or like the hood sides. I don't know how to explain those. Sort of going back to the painting, looking through the telescope, getting gentle brushes in.
So how long does it take you to do stuff like that?
Oh, as long as it takes.
Now, does the picture change if somebody was to, say, stand out there for a little while?
Man, I don't think you'd be able to see a person standing there that far.
What do you mean? I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, you look at the painting and like, it doesn't show like individuals. It just shows more just like the blocks of the trees,
Yeah.
or of the tents. Doesn't seem like it.
You can't see like below. It's just
You can't see like
tops.
yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm gonna wait until he is sort of steps away from the telescope.
Sure.
I'm just gonna lean in real quick and take a quick peek at what he's looking at.
Just just currently like 1/10 of the encampment.
And is that what the painting is showing?
It looks like he's currently working on one of the tents currently.
Oh, he's like real zoom. Oh,
Yeah, like
he's getting
real zoomed
specific.
Is there anything specific about the tent?
in. Make a perception check with advantage.
Because you could see it.
Because you can see it.
I can't make that shit up. They're both 7s.
Sure you can.
With a +3 gives me a 10.
A 10. Not anything special per se, it's just one of the tents.
Okay. Do I think I could remember? Do I think I could find that specific tent when we get back
You're
to town?
pretty sure you can find that
Okay.
exact tent.
Okay. And then I'll step back away from it.
He leans back in to look again, then goes back to the painting. Those who are close can see he's like, at this point, he's trying to get so much detail. He's like using one hair strand to try and get very, very detailed.
This is marvelous. So, I got a question for you. Have you ever seen anything real wild happening down there? Anything?
Oh, I've seen a lot of wild things in my time, but specifically, are you talking about like fires, murders, other
that.
tragedies?
Any of that probably be a good place to start.
Sort of gestures behind him towards one of the crates. You might want to look in there then.
Oh, I'll go over it. There's a
You
body.
go over to the one and open the crate, and you can see like there's like a dozen, like lined up.
Wow, you're quite prolific.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go through them, see if I can find anything.
You pull up one, and you can see a night sky, and you can see in as if you were looking at it because you snap once again, and you can see you're standing right at that cliff again, and you can see far down in the distance of the encampment one singular tent on fire. You snap back to reality.
Whoa. Ugh.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Oh, there
You
goes
okay?
gravity.
You okay, Miss Bellamy?
Vomit on my sweater already. So,
What's spaghetti?
so now, what did you see happening before this?
He has not looked. He's still just going back and forth from the painting. His attention only towards that. But he responds back to you, "Oh, I'm just a person who enjoys tragedy." Do you look at another painting?
Yes.
You look at another painting. This one set during the day.
Same
However,
thing.
you watch as your reality switches, and you can see far, far off to the northeast. You just see one singular dot. Cutting back to reality.
Do I see that dot represented in any of the paintings?
In that painting, you do see that one.
Huh.
Do you want to just look through all of them?
Closer.
Looking through all of them, you
A
glitch
lot.
once again a lot. You can see dotted along occasionally. That you'll see ones that are dotted. You also see ones where certain tents are on fire. It seems like
The dots line up with the fire situation some.
no. Make an intelligence check.
Oh God. Please roll something.
Would it be
that's
better if it was Arcana?
digits.
Actually, or you could do Arcana.
I do have. Oh, okay, that's not terrible. 18.
18. Well, if these ones are depicting flames of tents, the dots must indicate people who have died from the Dalton gang. and where they were when they died. As you look, you can see far ones, closer ones. You can even see some, like one or two that dot the northeastern bank.
Are all of these paintings tragedies?
Seems like it.
I go back to the place where he's working
Okay.
and examine the thing.
Okay.
So, and this is not a night scene, I take it? This is more daytime scene?
Currently, it is a daytime scene. Yeah.
Where's the dot?
You don't see a dot yet.
Is there any fire?
Don't see any fire.
Looking over as I looked over Bellamy's shoulder at those paintings,
Mm-hmm.
is the level of detail in them seem realistic for what he could see through his telescope?
Very detailed.
Like too detailed to have just seen it through the telescope?
Yes.
And she's gonna whisper, where's the dot going?
You see sort of a smile creep across his face that's slightly too big. Now there's a question.
Do you do it?
Could you imagine that? Ooh.
No. And you watch as he stands up, sort of gently moving the telescope out of his way. And you watch as he gently touches the painting, and it completes instantly. That glitch. You all see a glitch.
Oh.
So you watch as a night scene, where that one tent you were looking through the thing is, catches on fire. You might want to hurry, Miss Bellamy. Nighttime should slowly be very, very close as he steps towards the cliff.
I'm gonna come back up and see you later, alright?
You won't.
He won't
I'm
be
gonna
here.
reach out and grab him on the back of the back of his shirt.
Okay.
What's your
Make
name?
sure he doesn't go anywhere.
He turns back towards you, and you can see him fully, just this pale man, red cap.
What's your name?
Who are you?
You watch as he slowly brings his hand up to the glasses, pulling them down just below his eyes. Burned into your mind, nerd retinue, the symbol of an orange circle. So you watch as two irises stare back at all of you before you blink, and you can see he's no longer in your hands. All that's left in your hand is a dead moth. And you turn back around, there's no tent, there's no
Oh,
telescope.
he's the Mothman. Dang it. The Mothman.
We need to go.
We gotta go.
As
Alright.
the sun begins to set, as this strange omen leaves itself. However, I will allow you to know one thing. That magic is very similar to yours.
Yep.
I
That
think we're
makes
going
sense.
to end there
That's cool.
tonight.
That's cool.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. That
I do,
was-
however, always promise to do a cutscene
Yeah.
at the end of one of our 3 blocks. So, here we go. Trying to think of who to do it for.
There's so many options.
Okay. Sort of playing around with a deck of cards, just sort of doing some card play. You see Philip Negranu, the gambler, sort of watching as his companion is pacing back and forth at the edge of the river, just trying to figure out what to do. She's just sort of mumbling under herself. It's just like, there was so much there. We would have been scot-free for the rest of our lives. Everything was going right. I have no idea. I don't know. Negranu sort of just pulls a random card that just happens to be like the 4 of clubs. He just sort of gestures with his hands and it just disappears. He quickly reappears it as he's just playing around. Well, there are others who are holding on to some gold right now in large quantities. She sort of stops and ponders for a moment, thinking, yeah, that there are. But the question is, which one do we go for? And I think we'll leave it there.
Nice. Nice.
I'm so excited.
You left them with no gold. They're gonna have to come up with a gold somewhere.
All right. Well, that was awesome, and we will see you guys on the next adventure of Derringers and Desperadoes. Should be about a month or so. You'll want to check out our Discord server for the latest and greatest of our weekly broadcast schedules. We do run 2 a week. This is one of them. We do the pre-recorded ones on one day of the week, and then we do a live show another night of the week. Since I don't know what our schedule is going to be when this airs, I'm going to leave it to you guys to check out our Discord server to find out. Sometimes it changes, and so it's not me being cagey, it's me hedging my bets, let's say. If you want to go back and see some of the other content that we have produced, anything video-wise, does wind up on our YouTube channel, so be sure you head out there. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, turn on the notifications, and you'll always know when we put new content out. That is going to do it for us here this evening. Come back and see us again next time on Derringers and Desperadoes. Until then, happy trails.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.